Have you ever imagined yourself on a software development project with a certain budget where every employee has the perfect skill for the task at hand? Everything runs smoothly under complete control. Your team functions according to needs instead of resources, with less expense and higher quality. Today I want to speak about interTAD and, more importantly, about ways to help yourself when finding the right company for your interests and to bring you the perfect win-win situation. In this presentation, we'll talk about today's market and the options you have, such as with the Agile distributed model. After this, we're going to speak about the Agile distributed model environment in our company by talking about the distributed team combination of local and virtual members with availability and skills, clear communication, and tools. To begin, we have to first consider the two main options on the market these days. You can either develop in-house or you can outsource. Developing in-house has its shares of pros and cons. The pros are probably in the full control you have over your project. One also thinks of easy, clear communication and local support as great features of doing work in-house. Of course, there are cons as well, such as with lack of experience. For example, it's impossible for a given company to possess the whole wide range of expertise on board. This means you could face danger of having either too institutional a product or no innovation and no fresh look. Now what about outsourcing? Outsourcing skyrocketed for the software industry over the past several years and is still going up. We see outsourcing as cost-effective when using resources appropriately. Be careful though, because outsourcing is not always cheaper. With interTAD, however, it is. We're able to provide highest outsourcing quality with less expense than in-house. But more importantly, with outsourcing, you have a wide-ranged pool of superior expertise to select from. Remember, you simply cannot find the best talent all within the lines of one given city. The cons of outsourcing are that you have less control under thumb at times. Some people are fine with this and some are not. We all know that sometimes communication is also not so easy via outsourcing. Another con is seen in the support of your product, which can be problematic for you after the development is finished. It's natural to have all these pros and cons, no matter which aspect we look from, whether it's an in-house or an outsourced perspective. But this is the exact situation which brings developers such as ourselves to find a solution that offers the perfect win-win result where there are no cons and only pros. This brings us to our Agile distributed model. The goal of this model is to take the benefits of each approach in order to create a satisfaction for all needs. We want a full Agile control with clear communication, low cost, high expertise, and all the support we need. It should first be clear that there are best practices and we are not reinventing the wheel here. We adapt this all into combinations with our experience to make this Agile distributed model. Allow me to discuss the approach now and explain what drives this win-win situation. The Agile distributed model is a solid approach and is the current state-of-the-art method exceeding all industry standards. We've been working with this Agile distributed model and have a unique experience here, thus setting us ahead, or at least at the head of the pack. This model alone provides much more than simple skilled workers alone. Let's look at this model now along the lines of space and time. In space, Agile distributed model team members, or we should say ADM team members, can be distributed locally to you and from around the world virtually as well. Local members are typically representatives of the company and they are the interface of the company, standing between yourself and the rest of the team. They are highly skilled professionals who are functioning at the top level as project managers or software architects who derive solutions based on your ideas and form them into tasks for developers, designers, editors, etc. In this light, the full experience and control of communication among the whole team is with you, and at the same time they all provide expertise from around the world while buffering you from the complexities of communication behind every project. Again, some of these complexities could be language barriers, online remote communication issues, code control among the team issues, and more. The Agile model, or ADM, accounts for this all in terms of space. This model is also important to look at from a time-wise perspective and not just space. In terms of time, the most important parts are the constant availability of resources and the ability to iterate. From the beginning of a project, the first purpose in each step is to extract portions of work that are immediately tangible deliverables from the overall greater vision. This work typically occurs every 2 weeks or so, maybe earlier, maybe later. It provides a solid iterative approach in development and design. In the beginning, this is primarily for the architecture and design, and then later the emphasis moves to implementation and running tests. But they all exist in a methodical, iterative cycle. You can have more details about the ADM lifecycle by checking the diagram on our website. Let's actually talk about flexibility for a second. In this model, as the name indicates, everything is flexible. For example, you may want a particular team member to work with you in your office, or maybe you want to have a different timeline on the iteration. Here we use a flexibility and different methodology as plugins for this Agile distributed model, such as aspect, feature, or test-driven models, for example. It depends on the project. This model adjusts to fit your requirements and combines to arrange itself as the exact best fit for your environment and infrastructure. Let's also talk about the environment and infrastructure now. It's probably worth noting that interTAD has a projectized organizational style and uses a strict PMI, project management framework, inside the company. As I mentioned before, our model includes both local and virtual team members with highly experienced people as the interface. We have certified PMP managers and software architects with super solid experience. The system administrators could be distributed locally or virtually, and for developers and programmers, we generally outsource this. As a distributed team, we have the appropriate team members all under one flexible and thus solid virtual roof. This approach has integrity and is robust. The team you work with has high-level scalability and availability too. Speaking of availability, interTAD has people available 24 hours a day. For a small technical question, you can have a quick answer. If the question requires some in-depth analysis, then a meeting can be scheduled. Furthermore, we bring the whole pool of precise experience and expertise from around the world to the table in the shortest time possible for both local and virtual necessities. The best around the world will be working for you. Among our developers are certified professionals and gurus from everywhere. We even have programmers from the top 10 list of developers in the United States. Please feel free to visit our site for additional details under technology and skills. It's important to note that our environment and our infrastructure allows for the range of custom software development from basic needs to the Fortune 500 business endeavor. Let's talk about the tools now. We've shown you the infrastructure which allows us, with you and your team as our sponsor and champion and not just a customer, to work together. And we have the tools which help us work seamlessly, and they are abundant. We have requirement sharing, online project status tracking tools, an online meeting scheduler for conferencing, and more. Here, you also have the tracking tools for fixes and task submission tools, hardware monitoring and notification tools, status tables with all the information you need to know. For the communication, we have fast answer services ingrained in our policy. We use instant messaging, telephones, SMS messaging, all wrapped into a 24-hour service that we call the engineer on duty. We use email, video conferencing, local and online group meetings, face-to-face meetings, all combined within an extensive online collaboration portal. As you can see, or at least this was our intent, in this model, from our experience, we have a win-win situation where everything is flexible and you have full control at any level you wish for, with a clear communication too. You also have low cost since the development is appropriately distributed. interTAD offers the expert skills necessary from around the world anywhere when needed. Our company provides what you need, exactly how you need it, precisely when you need it. This concludes our presentation today. I hope it was helpful. Now go ahead and submit your next project to us online. We look forward to making your work for you. Thank you.